We are back with some more modern 2015 action, and it is our finals from the 2015 Sears charity event that took place in April here. Now, we've gotten through many rounds, 5 rounds of regular play, our quarterfinals, our semifinals, and we're left with 2 top decks in here. Izzet Twin versus Rug Scapeshift. We'll talk a little bit about these lists in a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about our video footage we've got, which is looking a little different this week compared to previously. But it's the finals. Let's do something a little bit different, a little bit grand. Let's show the players on camera here. Now, I originally wanted to do a hybrid between the player cams and having access to the top-down gameplay, and sadly there was some issue with the top-down gameplay being corrupted and we could not utilize it. So we will do our best to try to walk you through and keep you up to date on everything that's happening on the video itself, like in this case where we see Sear Visions get cast, and the cards are still going to pop up on screen so you can follow along and know what the players are casting and how things are working here. But let's get into this match because it is the grand finals of the event. This, of course, was the event for charity, the Sears charity event. And speaking of Sears, Matthew Sears, who the namesake of the tournament, is our Rug Scapeshift player, which is awesome to be able to see him featured on the channel, featured at the event in the finals of his own tournament, right? Helping to raise money for charity, and raise money we did because the whole event was able to raise $1,500 for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which is phenomenal to be able to see, but also awesome to see these players come out and play. 31 players came for the 2015 event, and it turned out great. If you wanted to see a little bit more of the behind the scenes side of it, at least from my point of view, because I did play in the event, I did the behind the scenes vlog of the tournament that is up on the channel, along as all the other videos. We have them all put up in a playlist for 2015 for you to be able to enjoy. Now, if you want to see a little bit more related to the 2015 format, you can also check the description. We've got links to the charity tournament results and the deck list, the 2015 website. There's Discord links because there are weekly events that happen both on Magic Online, on Paper Spell Table. Lots of ways that you can still enjoy this format, even if you won't be watching the tournament itself live here on the channel every week. But that's okay. But getting back into this match, since we know what we're seeing, how this is working. So we've got a Vendilion Click that is hitting the battlefield in response to the Steve Sakura Tribe Elder hitting the battlefield. So we're going to do a cheeky peek at our opponent's hand and take a look at what we've got inside to see if there's anything that we don't want them to have. It's a very powerful card that can help us out against, combo style of decks. And so you get a look at your opponent's hand, tick a card, put it on the bottom of the deck, and they get to draw a card. Right? It's a little bit of a replacement thing, but it works out pretty well when you're trying to deal with combo deck, which both these decks are, right? So Scapeshift itself, the goal of it is to be able to get Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, in play. Once you have that and enough mountains, which 5 mountains is the check, right? It needs to say you have 5 mountains in play. You're going to start lightning bolting your opponent or their creatures. Every mountain that comes in after that is going to be dealing 3 damage to target creature or player. So your goal is to be able to get enough lands, cast Scapeshift, and go find that. Or just do this land go method that we're sort of seeing in the slow build up here with utilizing things like Sakura Tribe Elder, Search for Tomorrow, right? Peer through the depths even sort of counts by a way to dig and look for things. So, but the idea that you're doing Rug, all right, red, blue, and green, you get access to some blue spells. You get things like Cryptic Command, Reman, Snapcaster Mage, right? These sort of ways to sort of interact with your opponents a lot more there, which is really cool to be able to see this kind of flexibility that the deck has. And it worked out well enough to get, of course, our Scapeshift player to the finals here. On the other side of the table, Izzet Twin has been a deck that we've seen on the channel before, not only in the 2015, because we got to see it in the semifinals defeating my Infect deck, but we also see it in 2026 because it is now legal again in Modern, or at least has been for a little while now. But we see kind of both the players not really able to kind of keep things around because it is a lot of land go. Here's a spell like a Bolt or an Electrolyze in this case for our twin player to just sort of like deal slight damage, get some card advantage, and we're just sort of like building up, which is really crucial and important as a player battling it out here, because if you are a Scapeshift player or any other player, if you are not careful against the twin, they could just go, oops, I win, right? Or they're waiting for that window of go, oh, you've tapped out too much. Now I've got my Deceiver with a Remand backup, or now I've got my Deceiver with a Dispel or Spell Pierce backup, and you have these tools to help you kind of stick it, because the idea is to get a Deceiver or Pestermite into play, whichever one you want. Most likely a Deceiver because it has 4 toughness and it can kind of absorb a hit off of Valakut, but definitely something to kind of keep in mind there. Then you'll be able to go to your turn, play our Splinter Twin, and then make infinite copies of Pestermite or Deceiver. So that's the game plan for Twin. We know the Scapeshift plan. It's going to be interesting to see how this will work out here, as both these players are in the land go resource hoarding style right now. And that is a big part of the blue decks we keep talking about, is just you don't want to be the one to react first without enough backup, because whoever reacts first often loses, right? If you've never had a, wizard battle in that case of just like, all right, I'm going to play an impactful card, you're going to try to counter it, I'm going to try to counter your counter, and we just get into this like go, go, go building up and deploying our protections through counter spells. But neither player are doing any big splashy spells yet. You see it's a lot of just sort of incremental stuff. Lightning Bolt, Electrolytes, and the pivot burn plan is very viable for both the decks in that regard of going, okay, Bolt, Snap, Bolt, right? Both lists are running Snapcaster Mage. Both lists will have access to, the tools they need to be able to win off of that game plan. That's more of like a plan B, plan C element, though. They still have their main game plan that they're going to try to deploy. Like right now we see Peer Through the Depths trying to get resolved. Remand's going to put a stop to that. Again, not the most big impactful spell, but you are left with a choice. And our Scapeshift player goes, okay, how much mana do I have? How much mana do you have? I could redeploy this Peer Through the Depths, but that leaves me vulnerable with not having enough mana to, say, cast a Cryptic and a Remand, or cast a, Izzet Charm and a Remand. Like, you get left in these moments where I need to stop whatever you try to deploy. So I can't just try to jam my own game plan because it's not going to be as powerful and effective yet, because I need a little bit more time to build up. So now the players get a confirmation. I didn't think I made a land drop. You guys confirm, because there are people in the room right now spectating and watching, which is awesome to be able to see. We didn't really have much of a spectator area, but the finals itself had this special back room that we talked about. You can see in the vlog footage, along with all the other gameplays in a playlist on the channel. So make sure you guys check out the full playlist of all of our 2015 content and coverage. But it's like land and remand it. Looks like we're trying to do the pier again, but we're going to remand that. Still have some mana left. But yeah, I like this sort of just constantly remand, right? Delay, delay, delay is the name of the game right now. And it could be a big part that our twin player is trying to build up to the right tools that they need, right? They've been sitting here and grinding through and navigating it up to this point of playing the denial game. They're not really trying to execute their game plan as much as they're trying to deny your opponent's game plan. Yeah, they've tried to do a few things like, oh, I'll try to, bolt you. I'll try to electrolyze you. Oh, I've got a Vendilion Click. Let's see if this can stick around. But really, it's all just sort of, dealing disruption to our opponent, slowing them down, putting at least enough pressure to kind of scare them, right? But not really having that much to go with. Valakut is going to be our land here. Do the count real quick. 3 to you coming out now. And now we're in that land go becomes even scarier, right? Because any lands that we're playing now become a lightning bolt. There was a mix-up on life totals. There we go. Confirming real quick. And that's the thing, right? We've got paper here from one player going through it. We've got the phone there to help track us there. And they are going through. And also, we're tracking it the best we can here at home. Sometimes I'll make a mistake and mix it up. That happens, right? But it looks like they were able to get the confirmation. 14, 15. Yep. Everybody's confirmed. Cool. All right, what are we at? A lot of land count building up here. The sort of land go. Getting scarier and scarier towards Scapeshift. But I like this, like, okay, these lands, I'm going to just throw them over to the side. They're tapped now. We've got Steve coming out. Sakura Tribe, Elder. Little bit of a annoyance because that basically gives access to a bolt at instant speed. Desolate Lighthouse going to get utilized here. Draw a card, discard a card. So we've talked about it in 2015 how impactful the lands are, whether it's man lands or these utility lands like Desolate Lighthouse. Peak going to get utilized here. My gosh, Peak is cool. There's a one of Peak in the list instead of utilizing the Gitaxian probes. I like Gitaxian probe a lot. The life maybe, I feel like it's better to use it over Peak personally, but I was definitely big on it. I had a whole video when Gitaxian probe was banned about the idea of utilizing Peak in Infect. This was years ago, but never really kind of stuck with that. But with the twin side, it actually is pretty effective, right? Same thing with Gitaxian probe of this idea of like you're going to do that. But Twisted Image there on Steve, not really going to do anything to kill it off. Twisted Image is really important and really powerful for dealing with, spell skites and stuff like that. But in this case, we're just going to draw a card. All right, pay a blue, draw a card. Peek, pay a blue, look at your hand, draw a card. The looking at the hand, though, is really important because you get to kind of get that confirmation. Can I try to jam something? Can I force you to have to deal with my Deceiver that I might try to do, my Pester might? But Snapcaster is good. Target. Electrolyze. Target you. 2 damage to you. Now, because we're flashing this back, it's going from the graveyard into exile. Then we're going to like put it on the stack, or it goes right from there. It's a weird way it works. But the way the remand works, normally counter target spell, if the spell is countered this way, put it into its owner's hand instead of the player's graveyard. But because it's flashback, it basically is a 2 mana exile that card. All right. And you draw a card and replace itself. So that works really well against the Snapcaster. But now we have a bit of a beater on our side, right? Steve is dealing 1 damage a turn. Just not very much, but still, the little bit counts. Sear and Vision's going to get utilized here. We'll do another little setup turn, draw a card, scry 2, and Snapcaster is on the board. So now we can kind of do this back and forth if we wanted to. Second Sear and Visions. Oh my gosh. I wish I should have done like a draw counter here, right? How many extra draws did our twin player get this game? Peaks, Sear and Visions, right? Electrolyzes, all this stuff. All right. Tied up 13-13. The weight, you see this sort of like, we're not going to worry about it. Here's one more. Drop to 12. Yeah, in the tank a bit more and not going to deploy anything else. Again, it's like this. I don't want to force the issue yet. All right, both players thinking through it. Now, if you're thinking about wanting to see some more gameplay coming up, and if you like our commentary that we've got, of course, follow, subscribe here at the channel. But we are going to be doing some coverage coming up this coming weekend here for Legacy. The 13th and 14th of June, 4 Seasons spring event is kicking off in Italy. Now, I don't have to travel to Italy. I can just do it from the comfort of my own home. But if you liked our 4 Seasons coverage of Modern recently, we're going to be doing it this time for Legacy. And with the new banning in Legacy, there might be a few less oops all spells decks running around and maybe a little bit more, fun. I heard Delver's starting to climb back up, but there's some cards that are powerful in Legacy that are, not banned, like Up the Beanstalk and stuff like that of course are banned in Modern. But if you want to see that stuff, stay tuned, check it out, see our social media posts, but it will be, of course, up on Twitch for you to enjoy for the Four Seasons Twitch channel, and then we'll have some VODs afterward for you guys to be able to check out related to Legacy. But that'll be kind of our shift for our Monday episodes going forward, is we'll be spending a little bit more time talking about Legacy as well as Modern still on Thursday, as the sprinkling of content over the weekends as well. But Desolate Lighthouse, that's the other one. Other draw effects, right? What is that, third or fourth time Desolate Lighthouse has been activated? Oh, it's time. Deceiver Exarch going to attempt to be deployed here. And we immediately reach for some mana, remand it, attempt to put it back in your hand, and draw a card. Yep, we're fine with it. So, almost like a test the water. Is this good? Can I have this? All right, twin players at 10. All right. There's the confirming. Because you have to math it out, right? And go, okay, well, we assume that there's probably a fetch land. There's probably a Steve. So that's 6 damage. But is that it? Or are there 2 fetch lands? That's 9 damage? Like, that's still not 10. And without a Bolt or a Snapcaster, like, you might just die here. And that's crazy. Poke you for 2, pass turn, sit there with a grip full, and one of it, which we know is a Deceiver. All right, what do we got? Bolt here. Now that's a way to kind of crack things open. Dispel it. Ooh, cleared it up. Bolt you. Second bolt coming through. Cryptic Command. Do we have a way to deal with it? Counter draw. I mean, it basically, we need this to resolve. Looks like we're fighting. This is what we've been waiting for. Wizard battle time. Is it Charm? Draw 2, discard 2. Let's dig for something. Maybe we can find another counter spell. Maybe we can, like, if we find a remand, we could remand our own Lightning Bolt. Discarding a land. Looks like an island. All right. Nope. Nope. Did not find it. Bolt will go away. 2 bolts tried to be deployed. Neither resolved. Okay. Steve's coming. Deceiver. Untap our Sulphur Falls. Declare blocks. We'll sack it in response. Go find a land. Three damage, getting ready to hit the battlefield. Either at the twin player or at the Deceiver. We would have to use 2 Valakut triggers to get rid of the Deceiver here. And there's not really any ways to really interact with that trigger, right? This is not a consigned world. This is not a, stifle world. Like, we don't have those sort of tools available in 2015. I mean, Stifle was printed in 2015, but it's not legal in Modern, so, you have to play Legacy and other things for it. Cube. I love me some Stifle and Cube. Another Sulphur Falls hitting. But now we've got 3 damage a turn that can start coming across. Splinter Twin. Fetch. Valakut trigger. So we waited. We'll do one at a time. See what happens. Three damage to Deceiver. We're not going to lose to the twin, it looks like here. Both namesakes of the deck trying to do their thing. Next mountain hitting. 2 cards in hand after this. First, almost a full grip for our twin player. Looks like about 5 cards in the twin player's hand. 2 damage. All right. Man, this is a tough spot to be in. But this is like really just sort of that grindiness of both the decks. Like it still could go either way. Like the advantage is slightly in our twins' favor because of all of this like fuel that they have and tools at their disposal. But you can't really interact with the Valakut. All right, drop to 7. We need a way to generate more mana, though. Or at least generate more lands on the battlefield. A Scapeshift would be great. Search for Tomorrow, hard cast. 1 in hand after that. I mean, this is really smart, too. Both players constantly sitting here and checking, confirming how many cards you have in hand, things like that. Like, that's normal that you'll expect to see in tournament Magic. Cryptic Command. So, I like this idea, counter draw. The other way you can go about it is counter bounce. You could bounce your Snapcaster Mage and then do the bolt, snap, bolt elements and just kill your opponent off. Or at least, get one of your bolts back from your graveyard doing it that way. But drawing for more fuel is a really good way to go about it too. All right. Responding to the attack. Izzet Charm. Ooh, try to do 2 damage to the creature. Remand it. Let's draw into something. Will they do it again? Well, that's 1 card in hand, so why not? Hey, Izzet Charm. There's the Dispel. And there's the bolt that they've got for the 5 damage. Okay, they had a bolt in their hand. I mean, either way, they got to where they needed to go. So is it twin player going to lead the series 1-0 right now?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. And then I needed you to fetch away those Misty Rainforests to kill my Deceiver Rexar.
Yeah, look at it going through and discussing it. Like there was definitely those pivot moments there.
We're interrupting our gameplay to let you know about our new affiliate with Nerd Gear. nerdgear.gg/nanman will take you directly to the website, and as you can see, they've got a bunch of awesome gaming accessories from playmats, life counters with the life tracks, playmat holders, and more. So make sure you do some browsing on the site, find some goodies, and then use the code NGNanman for 5% off your entire order. But let's get back to our gameplay.
Yes, let's get back to it. Of course, Nerd Gear does have some new deck boxes. If you're interested, check it out. Use our code NGNanman for 5% off on your orders here. But yeah, sideboarding has taken place. You see the deck list on the table. We've talked about this throughout the event. It was an open deck list event, so players could sit here and look over things and see, okay, what could we sideboard in? So let's talk real quick through some of these players' sideboards that they have. Spellskite for our Scapeshift player for sure is going to be coming in here, right? Definitely a very powerful and useful tool to be able to bring in. You could go for the Swan Song as well, counter target enchantment, instant or sorcery, turn it into a bird. So there's 4 easy cards to be able to bring in for them. You could argue Click as well, but you have to think about what you shave to get there. On the other side of things, our Splinter Twin player has 2 Blood Moons in the sideboard. They could be bringing those in. We could be going for a negate and just go more counter magic. Karano's God of Storms is also not a bad one because of how land go that match was, because you are getting more cards and either like drawing cards off of lands or dealing damage off non-lands. So, that could be, but again, we talk about the idea of over sideboarding. We don't want to necessarily do that all the time, but suspending a Search for Tomorrow, going to be coming out for our Scapeshift player here. as we're doing a setup. And Land Go is the name of the game again. But we saw how effective it was in game 1 for these players, as both of them sort of got this sort of setup mode as they are preparing themselves to get into it. But dropping to 16 already. 19 for our twin player, as they are going to be fetching. But we saw the, shock moments here. 2 shock lands for our Scapeshift player to get access to as much mana as they need and being as flexible as possible with how they respond going forward. All right, Misty. Pass. Attempt to do the search. That's fine. We're not going to interact with it. We could have remanded it. All right, that's definitely a possibility, but I like the idea of saving your remands and your counter spells for the more impactful stuff, right? Try to deal with, them trying to cast a Snapcaster or Cryptic or, things like that. They definitely have ways that they can sit here and interact more than disrupting their ramp. But there can be arguments that can be made, but, if I disrupt their ramp, maybe they don't have a land drop or something like that. Like in this case, I don't believe they did. I don't think they made it a land drop there. So now that allows a window of opportunity for our twin player to capitalize on this. Two mana out for twin. 3 mana for a Scapeshift player. But that also means that they have a full grip. The Scapeshift player has a full grip of tools at their disposal here. All right, the debate about the land. And yeah, it looks like we will go and shock ourselves down to 16 as well. 3 lands each. And land go. So a big reason that they're shocking these in, we talk about, is to have access to the eventual counter war that will be coming out, or the wizard battle that we're going to see with remands, with lightning bolts, right? Izzet charms, things like that could really have a big impact on things. But there's the first bolt. 16 to 13. And we did have a confirmation. Wait, I thought you were at 15. And then, I did 2 shocks. So now, again, that's really important for players to constantly be checking life totals and confirming in matches. Just like how you'll do it, even if you're playing EDH and stuff like that, of confirming, okay, what do you have? What's going on with this stuff? Anytime that you're playing Magic, trying to get those confirmations to make sure everyone is on the same page is huge. All right. Land go again. Scapeshift player able to just sort of pass here, but not really able to progress their gameplay anymore. I like to joke in these situations that their deck is mad at them. Something has happened. It's, things are getting clumped the way they should not be. We need a shuffle effect to help break free of that. Blood Moon. Hey. Blood Moon with a single island backup here as we're going to try to deploy this. We talked about potential cards to bring in, and this could be really powerful. What do we got? Swan Song. Oh, sideboard action, but wait, a Dispel? Wizard Battle. Hold on. What do we got? Looks like we're tapping 2. Remand? Izzet charm. Oh, perfect. Counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2. Not pay 2 on the Blood Moon. So, and no bird because there's nothing to be countering, right?
Targeting the Blood Moon again. Oh.
Everything's targeting at the Blood Moon there.
I played the Swan Song out first because I almost guaranteed that was a Dispel. Yeah, I need to listen to that. Go ahead.
All right, that was tough. But that was tough for our twin player, but great for our Scapeshift player to kind of navigate through that line and sort of set up a trap almost of going, oh, I see your Dispel, the way that you're presenting it. I know you have a Dispel, so I need to force your hand with something easy like this Swan Song. And then I've got the follow-up of, oh, something you can't counter, like the Izzet Charm. Snapcaster, Bolt. We're going into Bolt Snap range right now. Let's see. There we go. Drop into 10. Is this enough of a threat here? We'll see. Combat. Go to 8. 2 more damage coming across. 4 lands and a handful of spells. Looks like our Scapeshift player has been able to kind of stabilize on the land count, but not anything else yet. They're looking for something big to get them out of here, but not really able to find anything yet. Another 2. A response coming through with a bolt targeting the Snapcaster. Remand the bolt. Draw a card off it. Redeploy it, it looks like. Yep, there's the bolt again. That one will resolve, clears up the Snapcaster Mage, and now the board state is clear of creatures. All right, tempting to pass the turn. Ooh, a Snapcaster of our own. Target bolt. Attempt to bolt. Are we going to see another remand here? Or will the tides turn a little bit more and start shifting to our Scapeshift player? You see the thinking right now. I mean, that's one of the cool things of having this gameplay, too, is you get to see the players really kind of be in the tank a little bit more on these decision lines. And, yep, there's the remand. Clears up, gets rid of the bolt, immediately just goes into exile. And now we've got a Snapcaster that could try to deploy a little bit of the beatdowns back onto our twin player here. All right, there's 2. Okay, thinking again. Trying to do the land count. You see the kind of lean? That's a lot of what that was. Is, okay, how many lands do you have? How many cards do you have in hand? How close are you to being able to cast Scapeshift? How close are you to killing me with Valakut? All right, nothing. We're not doing anything. We're going to move to end step, clean up, discard a card, pass turn. Looks like a Keranos there getting discarded. Bring the beats again. Chipping away. Life totals are starting to even out again. 10 to 8. But a lot of mana still available for both players here. End step. Deceiver time. Looks like we're trying. Now's the dangerous part. Do we let this resolve and try to fight over their twin on their next turn? That's really risky because they'll have a lot of mana available. Remand on the Deceiver. Spell Snare the remand. Okay, Wizard Battle. Swan Song countering the Spell Snare. They go, do we have a token? No, but we have the infinite tokens there. Draw yourself a bird. Shout out to infinite tokens for the wonderful tokens that were available to draw your little 2/2 birds or whatever tokens that you might need. All right, draw off remand there. So that was a nice little stopper there. But now we've got a 2/2 bird that needs an answer. We need an Izzet Charm. We need a Bolt. We need something here. Or to get our Valakut out and clean up the bird. Or even just go right into the face. Right? If we get the Valakut. Let's see if we can do 2 damage here. Now, the Deceiver could flash back out, though, and just block it. So that's the other part, like the lines that the players are sitting here and looking through. Okay, I need, like, this 10 life total is really tough. This is where it kind of got to last game, where we kind of got into this moment of, like, I just need that next push over the edge. Dropping to 8, though. We're taking it. We're not worried. Next land. No Valakut yet, though. You see the separating. Attempting the namesake, Scapeshift, sack any number of lands, search your library for that many land cards, put them on the battlefield, tap. We're looking for the Valakut off here. We're looking to win with this spell. If this resolves, we'll have enough mountains. We'll have enough that we can be able to take out the twin player. Cryptic Command going to get used. Counter draw says no Scapeshift today. Still have mana left, but not enough to stop here. Life total's 8 to 6. Bird's going to come across for 2, dropping our Scapeshift player to 4. Another land drop for twin. They've got still lots of cards. We know one's a Deceiver, so we have this, like, impending doom moment of, like, we know it's building. We know it's getting closer and closer. Will we be able to stop it? Or can we just end the game and ignore the Deceiver? Do we have a way to Scapeshift and protect it? Right, that's one of the benefits of running blue. You get to be able to go, I'm playing Scapeshift, but also here's my Izzet Charm, here's my Cryptic Command, here's my Remand, right? Oh, another Scapeshift. Oh, Cryptic Command follow-up again, counter draw. Not going to let that one resolve. Pass turn. Here's the combat. 2 more. Drops our Scapeshift player to 2. Do we got a bolt? There it is. There's the bolt.
I did a turn before, and I drew another Scapeshift, and then off the remand, I got the mountain I needed. Like, literally, I had it the turn before, and I drew it in reverse. I was like, why me? And I had to use both pieces of counter magic, or I'm getting blown out by...
Yep. I had it in the hand. I was just trying to find the thread of the needle.
And that last turn, I drew the second mountain I needed to not draw. I'm like, okay, well, now I'm dead. I had to have the Scapeshift then.
Oh, man.
So...
What a game. GG's. So that means that our Splinter Twin player, Anthony, is the victor, the winner of the entire tournament. Shout out to everybody that came out and played in the event, all 31 players, and everybody that's watching at home. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you all next game.